Okay, in this video what I want to show you guys is how to do a house. One of the houses that are in the projects that I listed, or classworks that I've listed for you. So for instance, if you go to your classwork, basically you're going to have house in SketchUp. That's the one you're going to be doing. So basically from that particular assignment, and you can see that I haven't assigned it yet, but it will be assigned later today. These are some of the houses that you can choose from, and they're all listed down here. You can kind of click on whichever one you want. Gives you a little bit of a preview. I also included in with the house dimensions for the house, so that will help you when you're building your house or designing your house. Alright, so the one I was going to show you guys, I think I'm going to just do this one right here, and it should open up. Okay, it's kind of a basic house. It does have only 4 walls, but it does have this triangular piece up on top, has a porch, and some a little bit more elaborate designs here on the front. So this is the one that I'm going to use. Now the first thing you'll do is you're going to go to Google Drive. Alright, so you go to Google Drive, and then you're going to go ahead and go down here more, obviously, and then go to your SketchUp for Schools. Alright, so once you're in SketchUp for Schools, then the next thing you're going to end up doing, obviously, is usually what I do is get rid of the little guy that's there. I'm going to bring this down a little bit so that I can have my picture be able to access my picture a little bit easier. And to do that, then I can go ahead and find my picture. Where is it? Alright, so it's right here, right? So if I want to, what I can do, I'm going to grab this tab and just pull it out a little bit, and it should pop up over here. There we go. And now I have the picture here on the side of my Google SketchUp. And if I want to, I should be able to click on this and bring it in a little bit closer and things, but so for right now, I'm going to look at my dimensions. So if I do that, let's maximize this so I can kind of look at my dimensions. So you can see that the width of my house is only 23 feet, and the length of my house from where the porch, before, from the actual house, not the porch, is 42. But with the porch, it is another 6 feet. And if I wanted to add the deck, I can add the deck, and the back doesn't really give you the dimensions for the deck, but I'm gonna guess it's probably about 10 by 10. So if I wanted to add that on, I could do that as well. I'm not really so much worried about the deck. You don't necessarily have to do that. I'm just going to do the main house, part of the house. So I'm going to actually make my depth here, or the distance back, 48, because I'm going to add that 6 feet for the porch, and then the other part is 23. So let me go back to the SketchUp. And I'm just going to go ahead and start with the dimensions that I have here, and I need to make that 48 by 23. So I'm going to take a box, and I'm just going to stretch this out this way, and I want it to be 48 back by 23, and I don't have to make it exact, right? The dimensions right now are like, what, 15 by 50. I'm going to change that. I'm going to go 23 feet, comma, by 48, apostrophe, and hit enter, and then that should give me the right dimensions. Okay, so now then I have to kind of figure out how high up I want the house. I got to kind of figure out how high up. I usually decide to do each level of a house as 10 feet. So really there's only one level, but you do have the one level that's in more or less the attic or roof area, so that you have actually 2 levels. But I'm not going to do the roof area. I'm just going to do the first layer of the house. So I'm going to go up 10. So let me go back to my SketchUp. Now use my push-pull. I'm going to lift this up 10 feet. Okay. Let's go back here. Oh, it keeps closing out on me. All right, so then, you know, one thing you could do, so this thing doesn't keep closing out on you. If you want, you can go ahead and I think if you save a copy of this picture, it should make it into a photo that you can kind of manipulate a little bit easier. So let's see what I can do here. So I'm just going to go ahead and save it. Just put it on my desktop so I can get to it. So if it's saved to the desktop, let's see where it's at. Okay, so now I have the photo actually saved, and it's a little bit easier to get to, and it won't keep closing out at me. If I need to zoom into it, I can still zoom into it if I need to, right here. So the next thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to cut out an area for the porch. Okay, so to do that, remember I said my porch was 6 feet. So I'm going to just go to look at the top view here, use my tape measure tool. I'm going to measure over 6 feet. Alright, and then I can draw a line, and I can do that all the way around so I know exactly where my house begins and my porch stops. Okay, so then how high up is my porch? Well, my porch, if I look at it a little more detail, you kind of, gotta guess how high up it is. Now I made my house 10 feet, so that's actually from the level of the porch to this roof line. That's kind of what I figured. So I actually should go down with the bottom here, and I'm going to go down about 4 feet. So I'm going to go down here to the bottom. I'm going to hold my control button, so this way I get that line, and I want to go down about 4 feet. Okay, so that gives me my porch. So then the next step is I'm going to actually push this part in, and I don't want it to do that, so let me undo that. Try that again. There we go. I want it to look like that. And actually, I'm going to do one more thing. Let me go back. And I'm actually going to draw a line here. This part right here is what I'm going to draw. It doesn't have to be anything exact, but I'm going to make a line going all the way around like so. I really don't have to go all the way around. I probably can just do it from, but, well, I'm going to push this out of the way like so. Okay, so that gives me my roof for my porch. Okay, so let me zoom back out. Look kind of at the sides here. Now I need to do this triangular part. Now, this triangular part is pretty much centered with the main part of the house, not the porch. You can kind of see how it angles out a little bit more over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the side. I'm going to take my pencil tool. I'm going to find the midpoint between this point and that point. It should snap to that midpoint right there. Now I'm going to go up again about 10 feet. And then I can go ahead and, let's look back here at the thing. It does overhang a little bit over here. And I'm going to kind of guess that it's overhanging over here a little bit. So I'm just going to go over here, draw a line out, and we're going to say it's 1 foot. Doesn't have to be exact. Just make it look like it's overhanging a little bit. Come up here and draw that triangle. And I'm going to come down here. I'm going to draw this to about right there. Then I can go ahead and erase this center line and push this across like so. Okay, and if that line disappears, you can see that how that part disappeared there. All you need to do to fix that take a line and draw it right there like so, and it'll fill back in. Okay, so now the next step I want to do is let's see, I'm going to do, I think, the triangle part up here on top. And that triangle part kind of goes from this edge to this edge, except that you don't really see it because it's underneath this other part of the roof. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to assume that this is not all the way up to the top. I think it's a little bit short, so I'm going to go up on my line 9 feet this time, and then draw my triangle this way and my triangle this way. So now I have a triangle there in the front, and then I can go ahead and get rid of this line and push it back as well, and you can go all the way back to the center point like so. So then now I need this part here for the roof, and I don't know exactly where this, how far down this goes, but I'm just going to kind of guess, and we'll say it's about right there. I don't think it's the midpoint, I think it's a little bit less. So I'm going to draw that line in there, take my push-pull again, and slide that across like so. And then, if I look at the house, you can kind of see that it kind of sticks out a little bit here on the ends, right? And you also have this sticking out here on this. So the next thing I need to do, first I'm going to get rid of this line here. Then I'm going to use my offset tool. Offset tool, here it is. And I'm going to come on here, drag in about 6 inches or so, and we'll say 8 inches. Okay, then I'm going to zoom in over here, and I want to continue this line. You can see that it's pink. That means it's a straight line off of that. So I want to do that there, and I want to do the same thing over here. You want to try to find that endpoint and drag it down and making sure that it's pink. Then I can erase this line. I don't need any of these extra ones. I don't know where they're coming from. Whoops. Don't want to do that. Just that part right there. And same thing over here. Then I can go ahead and use my push-pull. Notice that it won't jump to that. It's kind of locked on this frame. Well, sometimes that happens. What you can do is just click off it somewhere, like on the green area with the arrow, and then you can go back and it should work. You can see there, I can pull it out now. And I want that to be about 1 foot. And this part didn't come out, so I'm just going to move this part out as well. Like so. Okay. And we got to do the same thing to the other side. Whoops, I don't do that. I'll turn this to the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing to this side. So I take my eraser tool, get rid of that. Take my offset tool. Come in. What did I say? Oh, I think I did 8 inches. Continue this line down here. Make sure it's on the pink tangent. Oh, I don't know if I really got that on the right tangent, so I'll try it again. Let's try that again. There we go. Over here, do it on your side. And then I can erase this line. Like so. And I'm going to actually erase this line. And I should be able to pull this all out together as one. And we went out 1 foot. Okay, so there's that. Alright, so now let's work on the porch. Personally, I probably would do the windows and doors first. So just like we did with the window, I want the windows to be similar to what you did on your last project, or the window project. So start off with your rectangle for your door. You can kind of guess where the door is at. You can see that here's the center point right there. It's a little bit more to the left of that. So here's the center. I'm going to come over here to about there and draw a rectangle up. Now most doors are about 6.5 feet tall by 3 feet wide. So I'm going to go 3 apostrophe enter, 6.5 apostrophe enter. So that's the door. This door actually seems like it's you have to step up into the house. So we could actually do that as well. Actually make this frame. So I'm going to actually undo that and try this again. I'm going to make it 7 tall. So 3 feet, 7 feet tall. Gives me a little more height to it, and then it gives me an opportunity to go over here, draw this line going across. Then I can take my offset tool and do a frame around it. Whoops, that's push-pull. Don't want push-pull. I want offset. There we go. Okay, so just like you did with the window, now you can dress up your door a little bit. If I look at this really close, you can see over here that it kind of sticks out on the top, the frame does. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, like I would any other frame. Take my pencil tool. Oop, in the house. Don't want to be in the house. Draw this here like so. Draw it across like so. And do the same on this side. And I can take my push-pull, pull this out a little bit. And you can kind of eyeball it, or just, if you want to make it exact, you can. Alright, so then basically you have your door. And if you want to, you can put the window on the door. You don't have to have it as elaborate as this one. You can see that it's very fancy type window. You don't have to do all that. If you want to do that, you can. I'm just going to do a basic window on the door here like so. And just like you did your other windows, you want to make sure that you do that where you make it three-dimensional. Doesn't have to be anything great with this. I'm just going to make a window with a little cross in the middle. And I always like to use the offset tool for the window frame. Locked down there, hold on. And I'm actually going to get rid of this part here. I just want that part like so. And then I can pull that out. It's locked again. Okay, so there's my window. Pull that part out too. Or door, I should say. Alright, so then you also have your windows here. and you would need to do your windows as well, just like you did with the door. Alright, I'll do that the second. Alright, so basically I'm gonna end this video here. So this kind of gives you an idea of how to start off your house and get it going. I'll continue this video in the second video. If you want to continue watching this, you can go back into it and see what I'm doing with it as far as that's concerned. If you want to continue doing this house, you can.